beginning of the Islamic calendar. The Islamic calendar, also known as the Hijri calendar, holds profound significance in the Muslim world. It marks the start of the Islamic era, beginning with the migration, Hijra, of the Prophet Muhammad and his followers from Mecca to Medina in 622 CE. This event not only transformed the socio-political landscape of the Arabian Peninsula, but also established a new epoch in history. The Islamic calendar is a lunar calendar, distinct from the solar Gregorian calendar, and plays a crucial role in religious observances, festivals, and the daily lives of Muslims worldwide. This exploration delves into the origins, structure, and cultural impact of the Islamic calendar, offering a comprehensive understanding of its foundational importance. In the early 7th century, the Arabian Peninsula was a land of stark contrasts and ceaseless turmoil. Dominated by a tribal society, it was marked by frequent conflicts, entrenched polytheism, and pronounced social inequities. Each tribe adhered to its own set of deities and customs, leading to a fragmented and often volatile socio-political landscape. Amid this milieu, Mecca emerged as a significant commercial hub, home to the Kaaba, an ancient sanctuary that housed numerous idols and attracted pilgrims from across the region. This religious plurality, while fostering economic prosperity, also entrenched the power of the Quraysh tribe, who were the custodians of the Kaaba. The birth of Islam in this environment introduced a revolutionary shift. Prophet Muhammad, born in Mecca around 570 CE, received revelations from Allah, God, at the age of 40, advocating monotheism and a just society. His message of worshiping one God and rejecting the existing social order directly challenged the Quraysh's authority and the broader Meccan establishment. The early followers of Islam, primarily comprising the poor and marginalized, faced severe persecution. The Quraysh, threatened by the potential loss of their socio-economic and religious dominance, resorted to boycotts, torture, and ostracism to suppress the burgeoning faith. As the Prophet's message spread, it attracted the attention of tribes beyond Mecca. The city of Yathrib, later renamed Medina, stood out due to its internal strife between the Aus and Khazraj tribes. Seeking a mediator, the people of Yathrib invited Muhammad, who had garnered a reputation for his wisdom and integrity. In 622 CE, after secret negotiations, the Prophet and his followers embarked on the Hijra, migration, to Yathrib. This migration was not merely an escape from persecution, but a strategic move that transformed the socio-political landscape of the region. The Hijra marked a watershed moment in Islamic history, symbolizing the transition from persecution to establishment. Upon arrival in Yathrib, the Prophet laid the foundation of a cohesive Muslim community, known as the Ummah. This community was built on the principles of brotherhood, mutual assistance, and justice, transcending tribal affiliations. The Constitution of Medina, drafted under Muhammad's guidance, served as a pioneering document that outlined the rights and duties of all citizens, Muslims and non-Muslims alike, ensuring peace and cooperation among diverse groups. The Hijra's significance extends beyond its immediate political and social impact. It marked the beginning of a new era, later designated as the first year of the Islamic calendar. This calendar, known as the Hijri calendar, commemorates the migration as a defining event that reoriented the Muslim community's sense of time and history. The establishment of Medina as the first Islamic state provided a model for governance and community organization based on Islamic principles, setting a precedent for future Muslim societies. The structure of the Islamic calendar is deeply rooted in its lunar nature, distinguishing it from the solar Gregorian calendar. Comprising 12 months in a year of 354 or 355 days, The Islamic calendar is synchronized with the cycles of the moon. Each month begins with the sighting of the new moon, a practice that has been observed since the time of the Prophet Muhammad. This lunar basis results in the Islamic year being approximately 10 to 12 days shorter than the solar year, causing Islamic months to shift through the seasons over a 33-year cycle. The months of the Islamic calendar each hold unique significance and are imbued with religious and historical meanings. The first month, Muharram, is considered sacred, and fasting on the 10th day, known as Ashura, holds particular importance. Ashura commemorates the martyrdom of Imam Hussein, the grandson of the Prophet, at the Battle of Karbala in 680 CE, an event that holds deep significance for Shia Muslims. Safar, the second month, has been traditionally viewed with a sense of caution and superstition in pre-Islamic times, though such beliefs are not supported in Islamic teachings. Rabi al-Awwal, the third month, is celebrated for the birth of the Prophet Muhammad, known as Mawlid al-Nabi, a significant event marked by processions, recitations of poetry, and religious gatherings. The month of Rajab, the seventh month, is notable for the event of Isra and Miraj, the miraculous night journey and ascension of the Prophet Muhammad. Muslims believe that during this night, the Prophet was transported from Mecca to Jerusalem and then ascended to the heavens, experiencing divine revelations. Shaban, the eighth month, is a preparatory period for the holiest month in the Islamic calendar, Ramadan. Fasting during Ramadan, the ninth month, is one of the 5 pillars of Islam. It is a time of intense spiritual reflection, prayer, and community. The daily fast from dawn to sunset is broken each evening with a meal called iftar, and the month concludes with the celebration of Eid al-Fitr, a festival marked by communal prayers, feasting, and acts of charity. The 10th month, Shawwal, follows Ramadan and includes the 6 days of fasting known as the 6 days of Shawwal, which are recommended but not obligatory. Dhu al-Qida, the 11th month, is one of the 4 sacred months during which warfare is traditionally prohibited. It precedes the final month, Dhu al-Hijra, which is of paramount importance due to the Hajj pilgrimage. Dhu al-Hijra, the 12th month, hosts the annual pilgrimage to Mecca, one of the 5 pillars of Islam. Muslims from around the world gather in Mecca to perform a series of rituals that commemorate the trials of Prophet Abraham, and his family. The pilgrimage culminates in the festival of Eid al-Adha, also known as the Festival of Sacrifice, where animals are sacrificed in remembrance of Ibrahim's willingness to sacrifice his son in obedience to God. The intercalation method, which adjusts the lunar calendar to align with the solar year, was prohibited by the Prophet Muhammad, ensuring that the Islamic calendar remains purely lunar. This distinction from the Gregorian calendar means that Islamic holidays and events shift annually through the Gregorian months, impacting the timing of religious observances and societal activities. The lunar nature of the Hijri calendar thus influences not only the spiritual life of Muslims, but also the cultural and agricultural rhythms of Islamic societies. Understanding the structure and significance of the Islamic calendar is essential for appreciating its role in the daily lives of Muslims. The calendar is not merely a tool for marking time, but a framework that integrates religious observances with historical memory, providing a continuous link between the present and the foundational events of the Islamic faith. The Islamic calendar is replete with significant religious events and holidays that serve as both spiritual milestones and opportunities for communal bonding. These events commemorate historical occurrences, provide spiritual guidance, and reinforce the collective identity of Muslims worldwide. Among the most important and widely observed occasions are Ramadan, Eid al-Fitr, Eid al-Adha, the Hajj pilgrimage, and the Islamic New Year. Ramadan, the 9th month of the Islamic calendar, is perhaps the most significant and universally observed period of the year for Muslims. It is a month dedicated to fasting, prayer, reflection, and community. The practice of fasting during Ramadan, known as Sawm, is one of the 5 pillars of Islam. From dawn until sunset, Muslims abstain from food, drink, and other physical needs. This fast is not merely a form of physical deprivation, but a means of purifying the soul, developing self-discipline, and expressing empathy for the less fortunate. The pre-dawn meal is called suhoor, and the fast-breaking meal at sunset is known as iftar. Iftar often begins with the eating of dates and water, following the tradition of the Prophet Muhammad. The nights of Ramadan are also marked by special prayers called Taraweeh, performed in congregation after the Isha prayer. These prayers involve the recitation of the Quran, and in many mosques, the entire Quran is recited over the course of the month. The 27th night of Ramadan is particularly significant and is known as Laylat al-Qadr, or the Night of Decree. Muslims believe that on this night, the Quran was revealed to the Prophet Muhammad, and it is considered the holiest night of the year. Devotional acts performed on Laylat al-Qadr are believed to be more rewarding than those performed over 1,000 months. The conclusion of Ramadan is marked by the celebration of Eid al-Fitr, one of the 2 major Islamic festivals. Eid al-Fitr, or the festival of breaking the fast, begins with a special prayer service held in large congregations, often in open fields or large mosques. The prayer is followed by a sermon, and then the faithful engage in festive activities. It is a time for families and communities to come together, share meals, and exchange gifts. Acts of charity are emphasized, and Muslims are encouraged to give Zakat al-Fitr, a form of alms specifically for the poor, to ensure that everyone can participate in the festivities. Eid al-Adha, the second major Islamic festival, occurs approximately 2 months after Eid al-Fitr, during the month of Dhu al-Hijjah. It coincides with the completion of the Hajj pilgrimage and commemorates the willingness of Prophet Abraham, to sacrifice his son Ishmael, as an act of obedience to God. In a divinely ordained reprieve, a ram was sacrificed in place of his son. To honor this act of devotion, Muslims around the world perform qurbani, the ritual sacrifice of an animal, typically a sheep, goat, cow, or camel. The meat from the sacrifice is divided into 3 parts: 1/3 for the family, 1/3 for relatives and friends, and 1/3 for the less fortunate. The Hajj pilgrimage, another of the 5 pillars of Islam, is an obligatory religious duty for Muslims who are physically and financially able to undertake the journey. It is performed during the last month of the Islamic calendar, Dhu al-Hijjah. The rituals of Hajj include tawaf, the circumambulation of the Kaaba, sa'i, the walking between the hills of Safa and Marwa, and the standing at Arafat, which is considered the pinnacle of the pilgrimage. Pilgrims also participate in the symbolic stoning of the devil at Mina, commemorating Ibrahim's rejection of Satan's temptation. The Hajj is a profound spiritual experience that reinforces the principles of unity, equality, and devotion among Muslims from diverse backgrounds. The Islamic New Year, or Hijri New Year, marks the beginning of Muharram, the first month of the Islamic calendar. Unlike the festive celebrations of New Year's Eve in the Gregorian calendar, the Islamic New Year is a time of contemplation and reflection on the Hijra, the migration of the Prophet Muhammad and his followers from Mecca to Medina. This event not only signifies the start of the Islamic era, but also symbolizes a journey from persecution to freedom and the establishment of a just society. The 10th day of Muharram, known as Ashura, holds special significance. For Sunni Muslims, it is a day of optional fasting in remembrance of Moses' liberation of the Israelites from Egypt. For Shia Muslims, it is a day of mourning the martyrdom of Imam Hussein, the grandson of the Prophet, at the Battle of Karbala. Throughout the Islamic calendar, there are other significant events and observances that vary in importance and practice among different Muslim communities. The Isra and Miraj, for example, commemorate the Prophet Muhammad's night journey from Mecca to Jerusalem and his subsequent ascension to the heavens. This event, observed on the 27th of Rajab, is celebrated with prayers, recounting the story of the journey and other religious activities. Another significant period is the month of Sha'ban, particularly the 15th night, known as Laylat al-Bara'ah or Shab-e Barat. This night is believed by many Muslims to be a time when God's mercy and forgiveness are at their peak, and it is marked by prayers, fasting, and recitation of the Quran. The Islamic calendar also includes various days commemorating significant events in the life of the Prophet Muhammad, such as his birth, Mawlid al-Nabi, his migration to Medina, Hijra, and other notable incidents. These events are observed with a range of cultural practices, including special prayers, public processions, recitations of poetry, and communal meals. Each of these events and holidays plays a crucial role in reinforcing the religious, cultural, and social fabric of the Muslim community. They provide opportunities for Muslims to come together in worship, celebrate their shared heritage, and engage in acts of charity and kindness. The Islamic calendar thus serves as a continuous reminder of the faith's foundational events and principles, guiding the spiritual and communal lives of Muslims around the world. The Islamic calendar profoundly influences the cultural and social life of Muslim communities worldwide, shaping their daily rhythms, religious practices, and communal activities. This calendar, with its lunar months and significant religious events, fosters a deep sense of unity and identity among Muslims, transcending geographic and cultural boundaries. The impact of the Islamic calendar on Muslim societies can be observed in various aspects of life, from personal piety and community gatherings to agricultural practices and social customs. One of the most visible ways the Islamic calendar influences daily life is through the timing of the 5 daily prayers, known as Salah. These prayers are performed at specific times throughout the day, determined by the position of the sun. The calendar's integration into daily routines ensures that Muslims pause to remember and worship God, fostering a constant spiritual connection. This rhythmic pattern of worship punctuates the day, creating a sense of discipline and mindfulness that permeates other aspects of life. The fasting month of Ramadan exemplifies the calendar's profound impact on social and cultural practices. During Ramadan, the entire community undergoes a transformation. The pre-dawn meal, suhoor, and the evening meal, iftar, become significant social events. Families, friends, and neighbors come together to break their fast, reinforcing communal bonds and a sense of solidarity. Mosques and community centers organize iftar gatherings, providing a platform for social interaction and mutual support. The spirit of generosity and charity is heightened, with Muslims encouraged to give zakat al-fitr and engage in various acts of kindness and philanthropy. Ramadan also brings about changes in business and work environments. In many Muslim-majority countries, working hours are adjusted to accommodate the fasting schedule. Businesses often open later in the day and stay open until late at night to allow people to rest during the day and be active after breaking their fast. This shift in daily routine highlights the calendar's ability to influence economic and social structures, ensuring that religious observances are seamlessly integrated into public life. Eid al-Fitr, marking the end of Ramadan, and Eid al-Adha, following the Hajj pilgrimage, are major celebrations that underscore the calendar's role in community cohesion. These festivals are occasions for communal prayers, feasts, and social gatherings. People wear their best clothes, prepare special meals, and exchange gifts, reinforcing family ties and social bonds. Acts of charity and generosity are emphasized, with Muslims distributing food and gifts to those in need, ensuring that everyone can partake in the celebrations. The Hajj pilgrimage, performed during the month of Hijra, is another significant event that showcases the calendar's impact on social and cultural life. The pilgrimage brings together Muslims from diverse backgrounds, fostering a sense of global unity and equality. The rituals performed during Hajj, such as tawaf, circumambulating the Kaaba, and sa'i, walking between the hills of Safa and Marwa, are deeply rooted in Islamic history and tradition. These rituals are a powerful reminder of the shared faith and heritage that binds Muslims together, transcending ethnic, linguistic, and cultural differences. The Islamic calendar also plays a crucial role in agricultural practices in many Muslim-majority regions. Traditional agricultural calendars are often aligned with the lunar months, dictating planting and harvesting times. Festivals such as Eid al-Adha, which involves the sacrifice of animals, are tied to specific agricultural activities, influencing livestock management and agricultural trade. The lunar calendar's alignment with natural cycles ensures that religious observances are in harmony with the agrarian lifestyle, fostering a sustainable and balanced approach to resource management. Cultural traditions and artistic expressions within Muslim communities are also influenced by the Islamic calendar. Poetic and musical forms often reflect the themes and events associated with specific months. For instance, devotional songs and poems composed for Ramadan and the two Eids celebrate the spiritual significance of these periods, enriching the cultural tapestry of Muslim societies. Festivals and religious events provide occasions for the display of traditional crafts, culinary arts, and folk performances, preserving and promoting cultural heritage. The Islamic calendar fosters a sense of identity and belonging among Muslims, particularly in diaspora communities. For Muslims living in non-Muslim majority countries, observing the lunar calendar and celebrating its significant events serves as a way to maintain cultural and religious ties. Community organizations and mosques in these regions play a vital role in organizing events and gatherings, providing a support network and a sense of continuity for individuals and families. The observance of the Islamic calendar thus becomes a means of cultural preservation and community building, strengthening the bonds of faith and identity across generations. The calendar's role in education is also noteworthy. Islamic schools and educational institutions often align their academic schedules with the lunar calendar, incorporating religious observances into the curriculum. Students learn about the historical and spiritual significance of the calendar's events, fostering a deeper understanding of their faith. Educational programs during Ramadan, Hajj, and other significant periods provide opportunities for experiential learning, allowing students to engage with their religious heritage in meaningful ways. The Islamic calendar's influence extends to the realm of governance and public policy in many Muslim-majority countries. Public holidays are often based on the lunar calendar, with national celebrations of Eid al-Fitr, Eid al-Adha, and the Islamic New Year. Government policies and social programs are sometimes designed to coincide with these periods, promoting social welfare and community development. The calendar thus serves as a framework for organizing public life, ensuring that religious and cultural practices are respected and integrated into the societal fabric. The Islamic calendar's enduring legacy lies in its ability to foster a sense of unity and identity among Muslims worldwide. It provides a continuous link to the foundational events of the Islamic faith, reinforcing religious and cultural values across generations. By shaping daily routines, social practices, and communal activities, the calendar ensures that the principles of Islam remain a living, vibrant force in the lives of Muslims. This profound influence underscores the calendar's role as more than a mere tool for marking time. It is a vital component of the spiritual, cultural, and social fabric of the Muslim world. In a world dominated by the Gregorian calendar, the Islamic calendar faces numerous challenges in synchronization and relevance. The coexistence of the two calendars can lead to practical difficulties for Muslims who need to navigate both in their daily lives, especially in global business, education, and governance. These challenges necessitate a delicate balance between maintaining religious traditions and integrating with the modern world. One of the primary challenges is the discrepancy in the length of the lunar and solar years. The Islamic calendar, being purely lunar, is approximately 10 to 12 days shorter than the solar Gregorian calendar. This causes Islamic months to shift through the solar year, leading to the observance of important religious events in different seasons over time. For instance, Ramadan, which involves fasting from dawn to sunset, can occur in the long, hot days of summer or the short, cooler days of winter, depending on the year. This variability impacts the daily lives of Muslims, affecting work schedules, school routines, and social activities. The reliance on the sighting of the moon to determine the beginning of each Islamic month adds another layer of complexity. Moon sighting can be influenced by geographical location, weather conditions, and astronomical calculations, leading to variations in the start of months and the observance of religious events. Different Muslim communities or countries may declare the beginning of Ramadan, Eid al-Fitr, or Eid al-Adha on different days, causing confusion and logistical challenges, especially for those involved in international travel or business. Efforts to standardize moon sightings and the use of astronomical calculations have been made to address these challenges. Some Muslim scholars and organizations advocate for a unified global Islamic calendar based on precise astronomical data, which could reduce discrepancies and facilitate coordination across different regions. However, this approach faces resistance from those who emphasize the traditional method of physically sighting the moon, which they believe preserves the spiritual and communal aspects of the practice. In the realm of global business and trade, the divergence between the Islamic and Gregorian calendars can pose significant challenges. Businesses operating in Muslim-majority countries need to account for the impact of Ramadan on productivity and working hours. During Ramadan, many businesses adjust their hours of operation with reduced daytime activity and extended evening hours to accommodate the fasting schedule. This shift can affect international transactions and deadlines, requiring careful planning and flexibility from multinational companies. Educational institutions also face challenges in reconciling the two calendars. Schools and universities in Muslim-majority countries often adjust their academic calendars to align with significant Islamic events such as Ramadan and Eid holidays. This can create discrepancies when coordinating with international academic programs or participating in global educational exchanges. Students and educators must navigate these differences, balancing religious observances with academic commitments. In addition to synchronization issues, the Islamic calendar faces challenges related to its relevance in a modern, globalized world. As Muslim societies become more integrated into the global community, there is a growing need to balance adherence to traditional practices with the demands of contemporary life. This tension is evident in various aspects of daily life, from the observance of religious holidays to participation in global economic activities. For many Muslims living in non-Muslim majority countries, maintaining the observance of the Islamic calendar while adhering to the Gregorian calendar used in their workplaces, schools, and social settings can be particularly challenging. This dual existence requires a level of cultural and religious adaptability as individuals navigate between different sets of expectations and norms. Employers and educational institutions in these contexts are increasingly recognizing the need for accommodation, such as allowing time off for religious holidays and adjusting schedules to support fasting during Ramadan. Technological advancements in the digital age have brought both challenges and opportunities for the observance of the Islamic calendar. On one hand, technology facilitates the global coordination of moon sightings and the dissemination of information about Islamic events. Mobile applications, websites, and social media platforms provide real-time updates on moon sightings, prayer times, and religious observances, helping Muslims stay connected and informed. On the other hand, the fast-paced nature of modern life and the pervasive influence of technology can sometimes detract from the spiritual and communal aspects of religious observance. The focus on convenience and efficiency may lead to a more superficial engagement with religious practices, where the deeper spiritual significance is overshadowed by the ease of access to information. This raises questions about how to preserve the essence of religious traditions in a rapidly changing world. The Islamic calendar's role in governance and public policy also presents unique challenges. In many Muslim-majority countries, public holidays and national celebrations are based on the lunar calendar. Governments must balance the observance of these holidays with the demands of modern administration and economic activity. This requires careful planning to ensure that public services and economic functions continue smoothly while respecting religious observances. The dynamic interplay between faith and modernity is particularly evident in the younger generation of Muslims. As they grow up in a globalized world, they are exposed to diverse cultural influences and technological innovations. This exposure can lead to a re-evaluation of traditional practices and the development of new ways to integrate religious observances into contemporary life. Young Muslims are increasingly using digital platforms to connect with their faith, share experiences, and seek guidance, creating a virtual community that transcends geographical boundaries. The Islamic calendar's enduring relevance depends on its ability to adapt to these changing circumstances while preserving its core principles. Scholars, community leaders, and policymakers play a crucial role in navigating this balance. By fostering dialogue and understanding, they can help bridge the gap between tradition and modernity, ensuring that the Islamic calendar remains a vital part of Muslim identity and cultural heritage. The calendar's challenges and adaptations reflect the broader evolution of Muslim societies in a globalized world. As Muslims continue to engage with diverse cultures and technologies, the Islamic calendar serves as a touchstone, grounding them in their faith and heritage. Its ability to adapt and remain relevant speaks to the resilience and dynamism of the Muslim community, which continues to find ways to honor its traditions while embracing the opportunities and challenges of the modern era.